It's Republicans and Democrats in this mind control system. It's not just a few people. It's a complete system of control, and it's, you know, I'll get into it why. But she has another book out, and basically she has a website, and you can email her, but I highly recommend this book if you want to know about satanic ritual abuse. Now, her particular system that she went under was a little bit different than what I went through, because she was handpicked to be what's known as a presidential model sex slave, to be used for black bag CIA operations and the highest levels of government black bag stuff. That's Kathy O'Brien, and that's something, and you could probably find the book on the web if you don't want to buy it, and I'm sure there's used Transformations of America available on Amazon for just a few dollars. And all I have to say is I certify her story as true. I know that the people, the majority of the people mentioned in this book as dark occultist abusers, okay, I have seen my parents react to these names, and I know that they are cult. So the people that say that she's not telling the truth, well, I say to them, well, how come she hasn't been sued for libel? All right, next slide. Fritz Springmeier is an author from Oregon and a Christian minister. He, along with a woman he deprogrammed, wrote this book, How to Create an Undetectable Mind Control Slave. Of all the books that go into the psychological patterning which is required to break up your consciousness into multiple personalities to manipulate you, this book is probably one of the best. And any clinician that is working on SRA people needs to read this book. You're not going to understand what you're dealing with without seeing firsthand how a monarch slave is created. And it's great to read about the actual rituals, but you have to understand in all of this, these rituals are done to create a certain emotional state in the victim which causes scarring and causes the warping of the synaptic pathways. It's basically, when you're born, you have infinite consciousness, but you have a body computer in your mind, in your brain. It's not your consciousness, it's part of the space suit that you wear when you're in this holodeck. And basically, that computer is just like the computer on your desk. It can be programmed, it can be manipulated. And it's a sad but true thing. And I'll get into it more. So Fritz Springmeier is now in jail. He was framed for bank robbery in Oregon like 5 years ago. A Christian minister, and let me tell you, there's videos of this man speaking about the Illuminati and also speaking about the love of God and what we need to do as a species to get out of this darkness. This man would not hurt a fly. This man would not even hurt an abuser because he walks in love and he trusts in his God. And they framed him for bank robbery. Essentially, if you read the story of what happened to Fritz Springmeier, was a bunch of bank robbers got caught And so the Illuminati that controlled the courts and the state of Oregon said, why don't you point the finger at this guy and we'll let you go? And that's exactly what happened. So Springmeier gets out in 2012, and he has also written another book called Bloodlines of the Illuminati. For anyone interested in the history of the controlling oligarchs in this world, this is a book you need to read. It goes into the DuPonts, the Rothschilds, the Remingtons, the Rockefellers. They're all there. And their history, their family history. It's fascinating, fascinating history. And it's also very scary. But Bloodlines of the Illuminati, just an excellent, excellent work. And you can find it on the web. His books are available on the web for free. Because when you really are in tune to what's going on in this world, it's not about selling books. It's not about making money. It's about trying to save your species. Now, let's go to the next one. Nothing but fun, but it's going to get better, trust me. All right, this is the Franklin cover. The reason I'm laying out some of these major scandals and base SRA books is you need to get a basis of what's really going on. You need to get a look into the darkness, okay, to see how far as a civilization we've come. And it's not good. But I will tell you this, and I'm sure of this. The Illuminati is about to get an answer from the universe about what it's doing to this planet. And this darkness is not going to continue. In no way. But in order for the darkness to be put down, the human race has to grow up and take responsibility. And that's coming. Because people realize the way things are going on this planet, we don't have a future as a species if we continue to behave this way. And I'm going to give you some pointers later in this lecture as to why you need to get your head into a space where you can be energetic, empowering, and a light being to help us overcome this darkness. Now, John DeCamp is a man from, I believe, Oklahoma, and he talks about a particular scandal that happened in the 80s. It's called the Franklin cover-up. Boys were taken from Boys Town in Nebraska, flown to the White House and other places in Washington, D.C., and used for pedophile sex. The Franklin cover-up goes into the who was doing what. It goes into the response of the powers that be, our government and our prosecutors, in covering up this scandal. This scandal has a movie made about it. And you can find that movie online for free. Basically, the victims who came forward from Boys Town and tried to stop this ring of pedophiles ended up going to jail for perjury. And when you read this book, you're just going to be shocked, totally shocked. All right. Ted Gunderson is a former head of the FBI in Los Angeles. By fate and circumstance, he got pulled into investigating satanic ritual abuse. Basically, He was involved with the McMartin preschool scandal in California. Special Agent Gunderson is a friend of John DeCamp, and they worked together on the Franklin cover-up. Ted Gunderson has a website and a lot of things on the web, but his report on the McMartin case and the cover-up by the prosecutors is staggering. It's just staggering. It's something you need to see. All right, next. The FBI refuses to this day to investigate any allegations of satanic cult abuse. No matter who you are, no matter how much evidence you have, they refuse, hands down, to do any investigation. And as far as I know, that continues to today. Now, according to Ted Gunderson, 50,000 children a year go missing in America. That's a lot of human sacrifice. Now, you can say to yourself, well, not all 50,000 end up sacrificed by the cult. But the point I want to make is, of all the statistics in crime that the FBI keep, there's one statistic that they've refused to keep, and that's the number of missing children in America. Oh, they'll tell you how many cars got stolen. They'll tell you how many burglaries happened, but they're not going to tell you how many children got abducted. So think about that. The FBI is nothing but the Federal Bureau of the Illuminati. They are selective enforcement. They are not for justice. Yes, there are good people in the FBI. There are good people in the government. There are good people in many religions. But at the very top, we have a systematic international corruption that is killing every good thing in this planet. And we need to deal with it. Next. So, there is a website and a Yahoo group called Smart News. And it was started by a man many years ago, and it's a coordination site for satanic ritual abuse survivors and therapists. And so, if you want to get a heads up on what's going on in a world that no one in the mainstream media dare talk about, this is a pretty good place to start. This group, Smart News, has a conference yearly in New Haven, Connecticut. And they're doing some excellent work. And I applaud them, and I just want to give them kudos and thank them. Next. Well, there's Molech. And if you know anything about Bohemian Grove, basically the ancient deity, Canaanite deity, Phoenician deity, Molech, it's all about putting your children into the idol and roasting them. I mean, how else are you going to have a good harvest? You know, you got to break a few eggs to make an omelet, right? So I'm going to talk about my family a little bit. My father was 9th generation Illuminati. His family came from Northern Ireland. They joined the Illuminati in approximately 1720s. That's why when people say that the Illuminati was founded in May 1st in Bavaria in 1776, that was a reorganization of the Illuminati to announce their new worldwide revolutionary phase. The American Revolution, the French Revolution, they were going international and global in scope. So the 1776 Bavarian Illuminati date, it's not their founding, it's just basically their coming out party.